Hello from National Geographic. I am Dan Byerly with the education team. We're so excited that you're joining us for the Explorer Classroom Ocean Expedition to the Solomon Islands. We've planned some very engaging virtual events that will take your students on board the Pristine Seas research ship, the Argo, to meet scientists, filmmakers, and crew as they learn more about life in the waters of the Solomon Islands. The Pristine Seas team will be working with local scientists and leaders to investigate the health of the oceans around the Solomon Islands. Their mission will be to explore the life in those waters, to see how the life is changing and adapting, and to understand what humans can do to keep the oceans healthy for generations to come. We want your students to think like National Geographic explorers too. As your students learn more about the work of the Pristine Seas team in the Solomon Islands, we are sending them on a similar mission. They will interview members of their own communities whose lives are tied to the ocean. As they do this, they will investigate many of the same questions as the Pristine Seas team. What does a healthy ocean look like? How do humans benefit from healthy oceans? And what does it mean to live in harmony with the ocean? All of the activities I'm about to discuss are described in depth in your Educator Mission Guide, which is linked in your registration emails. If you look through this document, you will notice that there are lesson plans and individual worksheets for each activity. The worksheets are also linked as separate documents. This guide and all of the other documents are provided in Google Docs, so you can access them and print them. If you have a Google account, you can also create a personal copy of the documents by selecting File, Make a Copy. This will allow you to edit your personal copy of these documents to fit your students' needs and to share them with your students digitally. Before you and your students begin your mission, we want them to share what they already know and want to know about healthy oceans. So, before the first Explorer Classroom virtual event, please do this pre-mission activity called a KWL. If you've not done a KWL before, it's a simple activity that can be done individually or as a class. It stands for know, want to know, and learned. Divide a piece of paper or your board into 3 columns, K, W, L. Then ask your students 2 questions we will be investigating. What does a healthy ocean look like? How do humans benefit from a healthy ocean? Students should fill in the know column with information that they already know or think they know about these topics. They will amaze you with the things they already know or have heard. Next, move on to the W section. Ask students to think carefully about something they want to know about healthy oceans. Collect the student questions in this column. These questions will help them stay curious as they join the virtual events and conduct their interview with community members. Leave the L column blank for now. This is a place the class can add facts they learn as they attend the virtual sessions and talk to their community. Revisit these charts throughout the activities to add things you've learned. The next document you will encounter in the Educator Mission Guide is the Notes document. Your students can use this to take notes at each Explorer Classroom virtual event. There is space to take down information about the explorers your students meet, and some space to reflect on how that explorer's work supports a healthy ocean. They can add their most important learnings to the L space in their KWL charts. The next document is the mission, or the main activity your students will be doing. Life in the Solomon Islands is closely tied to the ocean. The Pristine Seas team is working with the people and government of the Solomon Islands to understand the best ways to protect healthy oceans. Now, no matter where your students are from, someone in their lives has a relationship with the oceans and the life in it. In this mission, your students will choose someone whose life touches the ocean in some way and interview them to collect their stories and learn the role a healthy ocean plays in their life. Encourage students to think about parents, relatives, or community elders who might have an interesting perspective or knowledge to share. The mission worksheets provide guiding questions students can use for their interviews. Once your students have conducted their interview, have them share what they have heard and learned. Discuss the similarities and differences between the people they interviewed and the stories they collected. Use what they've learned to add to the L portion of your KWL charts. Also, when your class completes the mission, please fill out the mission completion form that we will send you. This will allow you to share your students' learning with us at National Geographic. Finally, after all the Explorer Classroom virtual events and the mission, we encourage you to take the time with your students to reflect on what they've learned by completing this reflection form. Look back at the L section of your KWL one more time, discuss the virtual events, and think about your interviews. If your students love this, the Educator Mission Guide has additional activities that they can do to continue to learn and tell their stories about the ocean. Thank you all so much for joining this expedition to the Solomon Islands with us. We hope you enjoy the adventure, and we look forward to seeing you in the virtual events. I'll end the way we always end our Explorer Classroom events, with the National Geographic rectangle. Make 2 L's with your fingers and flip one. Goodbye.